What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the corner. I got 2 videos left for the day, total of 4 here on a Saturday. I hope that it's helping you kind of get through the day, pass the time a little bit. Bill Maher usually makes headlines on Friday nights or Saturday mornings because he is probably, I don't know what would be best described as an old liberal. Before the Overton window shifted and they became Republicans, essentially. When a liberal suddenly was not in favor of free speech, I don't know exactly when that happened, probably sometime around 2015 to 2016. Being against censorship was always this core tenet of liberalism when I was young. When I was 18, 19, 20, it was like anti-corporation, anti-censorship, let's go. Hug the trees, but the times they are a changing, and that I deeply apologize for that. And Bill Maher rips old Twitter, mocks Trudeau, gives a shout out to Babylon Bee and also to Elon Musk. Quick update if you're following the drama today, the side story. I opened my stupid mouth and said that I wouldn't post on Twitter until I get to 200,000 followers. We are currently at 195,807. That means I need 4,200 of you beautiful, just amazing people to get on Twitter or reactivate and follow me. Help me, please, get out of jail. And I would greatly appreciate it. Bill Maher chided pre-Elon Twitter, took a comedic swipe at Joe Biden's son's computer and Justin Trudeau over mandates, and even gave a shout out to the Babylon Bee in Friday night's airing of Real Time that could have the cancel mob reaching for their pitchforks. Maher, the liberal news and comedy host who seems increasingly at odds with the strident far left that once worshipped him, told his audience that he was not all that twisted about the world's richest man taking over Twitter. Has Twitter failed in setting itself up in the past as the judge of what can go out there? I would say yes. Yes, you have, Maher said, addressing the deposed regime at the San Francisco-based social media platform. You failed when you threw the New York Post off Twitter for talking about Joe Biden's son's computer and the emails. And it turned out that it was a real story. You failed when you said we couldn't read about whether or not the coof had come from a lab. You failed. Maher blasted Twitter for labeling, quote, sensitive a video by conservative satire site The Babylon Bee, which mocked Twitter staffers horrified at the prospect of working for Musk. This is so looking through the looking glass, Maher said. This is well within what satire has always been. And the fact that they flagged this for being insensitive shows their complete lack of self-awareness about what their own problem is. Maher said he would rather see Musk running Twitter than a 23-year-old who can't take a joke. As for jokes, Maher seems to like the one Musk cracks to his 80 million Twitter followers. He said, now I'm going to buy Coca-Cola so I can put the Coke back in, Maher said in his monologue, referencing one of Elon Musk's latest examples of Twitter mischief. It's all fun and games, Elon, until Joe Biden's son gets his head stuck in a vending machine. Maher wasn't finished taking on the sacred cows of the left. In a panel discussion with former presidential candidate Marianne Williamson and tech entrepreneur and author Vivek Ramaswamy, Maher noted that the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau lamented that people can't get the coof poke who don't, quote, take up space. I wonder if they should be tolerated. Do we tolerate these people? Maher said incredulously. Now you do sound like that bad guy from WW2. Maher's increasing unease with the far left brings to mind Musk's own claims this week that the Democratic Party has been hijacked by people with extreme views. The Tesla and SpaceX chief posted a devastating meme showing how liberals have become more extreme since 2008. The thing is, when you look at this, he's not wrong. There are very few. And look, Bill Maher is wrong all the time. I don't think, there are a lot of things that Bill Maher says that I disagree with, including the N-word. But, he's still pretty far left. But he is in many ways kind of like Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is pretty far left too, but they seem self-aware. They seem unafraid to call out people on their own side, which is just this cringe behavior by both the left and the right that I just simply cannot stand. And sometimes even when Trump was in office and I would criticize him, I would get like a vocal contingency of my own viewers who were like, basically, you can't say that. You can't criticize something our God Emperor is doing. And like, that's just not a good way to live. These people, you can't deify them. And you just can't be a partisan hack. That's what I make fun of. I make fun of the left for doing this. So I cannot be a part of it. And I cannot allow it to fester on the right. I've often spoke about how Ted Cruz and guys like Trey Gowdy and all these people who get these viral moments talking about Section 230 or going after, and they do nothing. They accomplish nothing. Anyway, he continued to banter MSNBC host Ali Vashi and former Alabama Democratic Senator Doug Jones later joined Maher on his panel where Twitter was mentioned again. Maher read a quote from Twitter's current CEO where he once declared that, quote, "Our role is not to be bound by the First Amendment." Maher noted that the statement is particularly vague. Vashi said he believes it's time for Twitter and Facebook to have a conversation with themselves about how they are affecting our democracy with their actions, Jones argued. However, that, quote, Russian bots don't have First Amendment privilege. I don't think that the bots issue is a partisan one. It's a usability one. I don't want, if my followers on Twitter dropped, but if all the bots left, if I had a bunch of bots, I think I did like a survey once. I don't have many, at least allegedly. I don't know. I've never botted. I want to know the real number. I remember I called out Getter where they had these like fake follower numbers. I want to know the real number of people that are following me, and I want to be able to reach them because they've raised their hand and said, hey, I want to see what this guy is saying, and it's hard enough to reach them. And I think bots artificially inflate issues. I think they're effective at making things trend that really aren't trending. It's why so many things seem like such a huge deal, and then you like walk outside and nobody's talking about it. Maher took issue with that. He claimed Twitter had failed with regard to successfully filtering misinformation on the platform. Perhaps their biggest failure to date, he claimed, was a censorship of stories for Joe Biden's son's computer and the coup originating. He brought up a slightly satirical Babylon Bee video that was taken down by Twitter for being too sensitive. Jones argued that it's the fault of insensitivity, flat out lies, fake news, and things that incite bad behavior for the platform having to take a heavy-handed approach. Twitter became a left-wing place. It just did, Maher insisted. Jones countered, however, there's a lot of right-wing garbage on it. Maher then concluded that the bar for free speech nowadays is simply set at "you hurt my feelings." And I think that that's 100% correct. Elon coming out saying, I'm pro Elon. Twitter has failed over censorship. I think that, it's the bots are an issue that needs to get fixed. I feel like I don't want to go like too theoretical here or too tinfoily. I feel like fixing the bots thing would be very easy to do. There's innumerable ways that you can handle it and filter it. I think that Twitter has allowed them because they serve a useful purpose for them, right? The things that they do probably help them. Their existence allows them to run all sorts of weird clickbait stories about, the Russian bots. Really? I mean, just get rid of them. If there's such a problem, why hasn't Twitter gotten rid of them until now? I think the only reasonable conclusion is that they want them to be there for some reason. Somebody wants them to be there. So when Elon gets rid of them, that's part of the reason that a lot of these people are freaking out. The establishment is freaking out because They don't, they don't, they know that there are secrets inside of Twitter. They know that Twitter has been molded over the past 10 years to benefit the left. To deny this would be to deny, to deny the very basic facts of life. And that's what they're most afraid of. And it's going to be interesting to watch when the sale goes through. Update, I'm now 4,200 away. Open a new window. Follow me on Twitter. Free me from the shackles of my own stupidity. I beg of you. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.